Oh, hey guys, how the frig's it going today? Friggin' lazy Saturday. Why? Because all it's been doing is piss and rain all freaking day. Would you stop with the meows already? My goodness. It's been non-stop with her all day. She's just been driving me crazy. You've been just driving me crazy. Yeah. Why are you driving me crazy? Why are you doing this? Is this what you want? You want to be the star of the show with your flippy floppy flounder moves? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You just want to be the star of the show with your flippy floppy flounder moves, eh? With your bum throwing flippy floppy flounder moves. So, yeah. I was going to go out kayaking today and doing what I said I was going to do earlier in the week. Go out and fish and try and catch a fish on the yak, but for once the weather dick was right. They freaking called for rain today, being Saturday, and I was like, all right, well, they're calling for rain. Can't rain that bad, right? Can't be that horrible. They're calling for 0.1 millimeters of rain. Not that big of a deal. So I freaking woke up this morning at like 11 in the morning, and I felt like shit. So I decided, I got up, let the dog out, and my goodness, just piss and rain. Just coming down like cats and dogs, like it was bad. And I was tired, so I was like, you know what, screw it, I'm just gonna go lay down again. Then I woke up at like 4 o'clock. It's currently 5 o'clock. This is like those Saturdays of when I used to vlog back in like 2017, where I'd wake up on the weekend and just not do anything. Just not do anything. But I gotta do something. Something's gotta get done. What? I don't know, but something's got to get done. So throughout the week, I've been doing some chatting and stuff with some people from work and that. We're talking about fishing because that's all opened up everywhere now. Zone 12 is open. We're open. Everywhere is open. And got to talking about lures. And one guy said, we got to talk about making lures because I make my own lures too from time to time. You know, when I'm not buying them, I will make things, 3D print things, inject using molds to make soft plastics and all that. And he was like, have you ever tried using coffee scents? I'm like, coffee scents? He's like, yeah, it's really easy. He goes, normally what I'll do is I'll go to Tim Hortons. I'll buy like a nice coffee, tell him I want it black. And then, because he's like me, he drinks his coffee black. He's like, I'll pour some in the container with the worms. And I'm like, wouldn't that kill the worms? He's like, who cares? We're using them for bait anyway. He goes, but it doesn't. He'll pour it into the mud and it kind of infuses into the, like just a little bit. And apparently the worms get the smell of coffee and the bass will bite them even harder. And then I got thinking, I'm like, I wonder what would happen if you took coffee and poured it into the plastisol, not made coffee. I'm talking about instant coffee. If I took this shit, apparently it's premium too, and it's medium roast. If I took this shit, grinded it even finer and into like a silica dust, what would happen if I took that and threw it into the plastisol? Once it's all heated up, would it change the color to a black coffee-like color? Because black baits do work really well in clear water. And I can also throw in some like sparkles to give it a little more luster. How would that result? I think we need to head out to the garage and give that a go. Shoot some Senkos and see if we can actually make lures Canadian style. Let's get out there and try this. All right, so the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grind some of this down into a fine powder. Then I'll just put it in a separate container. We'll bring it up to the garage and we will get mixing up some plastisol. All right, that's about as fine as I need. Let's get out to the garage and we'll get started on some bait making. Now, my predictions are either A, this will not bind to the plastisol and will become clumpy and muddy, kind of like flour getting wet. Or B, it's going to make for a brown worm, not a black worm. Or C, the worm is actually black, reeks like coffee, and works better than the caffeine line from, I can't even remember the name of the company that makes the caffeine line. I really can't. So, just get some shit out of the way here. Friggin' mice will shit in everything. This is the water bucket that I was using last year to cool the worms after the molds were made. Alright, I need to go in the house and clean that out before we can do anything. Some bitch. Right back. I had to shake up my plastisol because it's separated, but we got 1 cup of the shit here. We got our coffee here. Don't know why we got a blowtorch here, but... Now, I've used mica powder to color these things prior to spraying before, and it worked. It actually worked really well. I've never used coffee. I don't even think I've seen a video online of people doing this, but I do know coffee works for a smell for bass because I can't remember what company it is, but they make it. Ouch. What the hell are you? Just throwing around my freaking garlic oil. Yeah, I really need to clean up this microwave top. There was a company that makes a caffeine line of swimmers, and it's in for 2 minutes. Gun work. Always need your temperature gun to tell you how. 65 degrees in here today. Oh, apparently 61.9. I don't even know if that comes through on the lens. So we'll wait for this here to finish. Then we got to take it out, stir it up, put it back in. We got to get it up to 350. And the molds we're going to be using today are going to be the Stone Senko molds because they work and they're good. And I like the end product, and the end product usually works. Also, if they're black, I'm probably going to chuck this blue flake in. I'm going to chuck this blue flake into it anyway, just because black and blue make the fish go, ew, ew, woo. Okay, I'm done. 313, we're getting close. Just gonna give it a quick stir. Back in the nuker. Alrighty, the moment of truth. See what happens when we add coffee to this. I'm not gonna add a bunch, or unfortunately I just did. See if she'll mix in, she'll blend in, or she's gonna clump up. Well, it doesn't blend. Well, it does blend. It's not mixing in how coffee kind of diffuses with water. It's just kind of acting like a flake. Let's add a bit more. So it's going to make for a brown worm. It really smells like a Tim Hortons coffee in here now, which is one of the effects I'm going for. I was just kind of hoping for a black coffee. Probably cooling down quick too. We're at 356 right now. I could theoretically shoot this. I'm going to try and throw some blue flake into it. Guess I've never opened this blue flake before. Nope. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to hit it one more time in the microwave for 30 seconds just to, I wonder if I even need to bother with the blue flake. Maybe we'll shoot one raw, see how that comes out. Yeah, let's do that. See where our temperature's sitting here. We're at 349, still shootable, still shootable. Our plunger was stuck, but I managed to muscle it free. Let's go ahead and grab some of this shit. Is the mold even in the shot? It's like you watch a professional bait maker. So that's neat. This is going to be what the skin of the lure looks like. Is this kind of a transparent, goopy look. So that should be the end result right there of what this... I gotta have a light overhead of my bench. That should be the end result of what the worm looks like. This might be really good. Chuck the sprue back in. Let it redissolve. Let that cool. We'll take a look at it in a minute. Alright, let's go ahead and open up this mold and see what we're dealing with here. See if it actually filled the cavities or... Well, it almost did. It almost did. I didn't put enough in. It's because that injector I'm using is kind of shit. However, that's a pretty interesting looking worm. And it just reeks like coffee. I'll still fish with this one. Alright. Then we got a sprue hole here. Go ahead and close up the mold. Shoot some more. We'll bring a bunch of them with us kayaking tomorrow. And that way there we can really test them out, you know. Really test them out, wacky rig them and whatever. What are we sitting at here? It says 233 degrees. Like, that doesn't seem right. Gotta hit it again in the nuke. We're only getting her up to 320. But yeah, I do like this mold from eBay. Or from Amazon. It makes a good worm. The shape is perfect. The end result's good. Like, I got a bit of a denting here, but I'm blaming this all on the plunger that I'm using, the injector. Because I bought it also off Amazon. And it was really cheap. It was like 45 bucks. A good injector should run you around $1.50. This is not a good injector. It stiffens up. It's got a lot of pushback on it. It's kind of junk, but it gets the job done. You just got to swear at it a little bit. Algorithm checks later, and you're good to go. So let's give this here a quick stir. Well, it just reeks like Tim Hortons coffee in here. For some reason, I really want a freaking coffee now, and I'm not sure why, eh? Let's go ahead and get some of this goop into the pooper. Should be more than enough. And then come over to the mold, plop it in the hole. Oh, I over-injected. You can tell because it kind of blew out the seams. And now it's a waiting game. Should have refilled that sprue hole. Oh, it's too late now. You can see it recessing down the sprue hole. As it cools, it contracts, and then it sucks it out the sprue hole to fill all the cavities. So this might be a bad run. We'll find out. Worst case, we remelt them. All right, let's go ahead and crack into this mold and see how, ouch, how bad of a fail this is. I got the blade up and I touched it right on the wrist. Just finished adding a bunch of blue flake to the coffee, so bit of an issue to separate. You might need to use a little prying technique. Actually, these worked out well. Despite the overspray and a few dented hollowed worms, these worked out pretty well. You know, we got a bit of, yeah, I say a bit of overspray, but a little bit of connecting bridge here and there, and nothing you can't just peel off and throw back into the cup and remelt. So that's not too bad. A little bit of denting. Once again, you know, it's all based on the equipment you buy, guys. Like, if you buy cheap shit like I did, you're gonna get cheap results. Back then, mind you, I didn't really have the money to spend on this, and oh, I figured I got a blue flake stuck to this one. Guess we're gonna find out an end result soon of the new blue flake mix. Let's chuck this in the nuker, because I threw a bunch of blue flake in with the plastisol with the coffee to try and get some sort of a friggin' glitter punk style, if that's even a word. Trying to get all this shit off the sidewalls of the cup. That's the other problem. The sidewall of the cup will pick up a bunch of plastisol, especially when you're pouring. If you're using top pour molds like my minnow molds, the goop will plug up your spout here, so then pouring becomes a bit more of a challenge halfway through your pour. Try and get all that in there. Cool. Let's go ahead and get this back in the microwave. Put it in for a minute. Sparkles in there don't react with the, you know, you're not supposed to put tin foil in the microwave or metal. Well, let's see what Dollarama sparkles are classified as. All right, so I'm going to move this off to the side here. Oh, I got sandpaper on the table. Goop out of the nuker. So I just bang the suds out of it. Give it a good quick stir here. Show you what we're working with. As you can see, it almost looks green on the camera. It's not, it's brown. But it's got a lot of bling bling in there. A lot of blue bling bling. So we'll see what happens with the blue bling bling, eh? We'll see what happens with the blue bling bling. Make a blue bling bling worm. Blue bling bling caffeine worm. All right, grab our mud pump here. Stick it in. Suck up a bunch of materials. Get our materials. Come over to the guy. Stick it on the hole. And squirt. And blow out the back. Cool. So we had a bit of a clamp blowout here because somebody's applying way too much pressure. That's somebody being me. Let's peel this shit off the top. Show you what we're working with here. So as you can see, there's a lot of flashy spleck in that. Should be pretty interesting. I'm just gonna chuck this in here. Chuck this in here. Wait for things to cool down. Yeah, this should make for an interesting color for a lure. I don't know. I've never done it this way before with the coffee. Now that's gonna be the end result of the worm. I don't know if you're saying that, but that looks pretty friggin' sexy to me. We'll have to wait for the mold to cool, crank her open, see what we're working with. And that's the thing about colored baits I don't get. So they've done a study on bass. Yeah, she had a little issue. Where did I put? Oh, I took the sprue out. Okay, cool. Gonna need a little persuasion from the knife here just to peel it open. But those turned out amazing. Those turned out really well. Look at those beauties. Yeah, there's some denting in it, some cold denting, but for homemade, why the frig not, you know? Oh, frig, I just ripped its head right off. Oh well, it'll still work. And this will go back in the cup. All right, I'm gonna inject as many as I can with this here, and I'll be back. Trying to come up with an idea on how I'm gonna connect the GoPro to the kayak. Waiting for this plastisol to dry. I'm looking around the garage and stuff, and then all of a sudden I looked up and I saw something. Let me show you. So basically, I'm like looking around going, I don't want to tape it to the freaking kayak, and oh, what can I do? What can I do? I could probably just attach a click mount, but then I got to fiddle with it every time I want to turn around. I'm looking around, like, I just wish I had like a clamp or something. Like, what could I use? And then I kind of glared up here and I saw this. Do you guys remember this? If you do, that means you're really, really old school. Like you've been around since the Skaven days when I was running my first channel. Guys, that there is something I built for vlogging from the car with a flip camera so I could hang it upside down from my visor. It's a Dollarama tripod head screwed to a freaking Dollarama clamp so I could like clamp it onto the visor, hang it upside down, screw on the flip camera, and make videos while driving. And I used to use it with, actually originally it was used with the Samsung C30. And that was that weird camera where you held it like this and the lens shot. It was shaped like an egg, but you held it like this and the lens shot outwards. So it was more comfortable in your hands to film with. And I remember filming so many videos with that back in the day. Like that was like my go-to camera because it charged on USB while you were taking the videos off and had a huge battery. It only shot at 480p, so it was 720 by 480. But I used to stretch the video out to 16 by 9 from a 4:3 aspect ratio, and it made it look goofy. But I did what I had to do to get the job done, let me tell you. And oh yeah, it was those days, man. The stuff we used to do for views, like Rex and I messing around with that old Big Red in here, that old trike, and doing some welding stuff and the lawn tractors and anything to try and generate reviews, like try to get monetized. Like that was our big goal back then, was try to get we want to be a YouTube partner. It was so dumb. It was so dumb. That's pretty much it for these guys. I'm just gonna let them cure overnight, and then tomorrow we'll chuck them in a bag. That water is actually turning brown from the coffee, the lynching off of these guys. How do they smell? They smell just like coffee. They smell just like coffee. Oh man, that's gonna be dope. Okay, so hopefully tomorrow the weather dick is right again, because tomorrow is supposed to be sunny all day with no rain. And if that's the case, then Friday's video, guys, we're gonna be dropping the kayak in the Cove or at Armstrong, one of the two, and we're gonna go bang out Lake Camelot and potentially other places too. And we're gonna see what we can do with these and whatever other lures I have in my kayak tackle box. Because I don't bring my big bag with me, I just bring this little pouch and it does the job for what I need to do. That's the battle plan for tomorrow, unless it gets foiled by Mother Nature. And if it does, then there might not be 3 videos this week. I'm aiming for a video Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. I don't know if that's too ambitious. It might be too ambitious because Tuesdays and Thursdays, like I said, I'm busy. I have martial arts and I work 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday to Friday. So, and I need to do stuff, other stuff with friends sometimes, and it gets in the way of picking up the camera. When life makes it too busy to do your hobby, sometimes you got to pack up your hobby, right? Well, I'm not packing it up. I'm just doing it when I can. So I'm aiming for 3 videos a week, but we'll see how long I can sustain that. It may drop down to 2 some weeks, may only be 1 other weeks, but I'm going to try and be a little bit more consistent with my uploads and keep at her. Not that I'm trying to grow the channel, but thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Hopefully tomorrow we can get on the lake and bang out some fish with our newly pressed baits. We'll see what happens. Here's hoping. Thanks for watching. Like, favorite, comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, guys, live it to win it. Peace the frig out. Sit, stupid, sit. Good dog.